God, would you then take those same people who were in wickedness,
Hallelujah.
implant your purity, and cause them to burn with the fire of the Holy Spirit from this very moment?
Jesus.
Let me tell you what the Old Testament shows us. The grossness of human sin in the sight of God. We have no idea how gross our sin is in the sight of God. Yet he still says, I love you, and I sent you my flawless son to die for you. So that though I know that you are flawed, the flawless one covers your flaws. His blood that is pure and holy now covers every sin and mistake that you've ever made, so that now you can smell good in my sight, so that now you can be pleasing in my sight. Wow. We don't understand the gospel. That he who knew no sin, Jesus, never touched anything unclean. He is purity in human flesh. Became sin so that I might become the righteousness of God in him, meaning that I might become pure in him, so that I can stand before God in the purity of Christ. If what? If I'll put my faith in him and commit my life to him. See, religion is you're trying to work your way to be pure. Christianity is you're made pure that you might then live pure. I was separated from God, but now in the gospel, I'm joined back to God. The law in the Old Testament, I had no way to obey these laws, but now, through union with the Holy Spirit, because we're now joined to God, his law is written on our hearts, and the Spirit leads us to keep his commands. And guess what? We also enjoy keeping his commands. 1 John chapter 5 says, this is the love of God, to keep the commands of God, and his commands are not burdensome. It's not a burden to love my wife. It's a privilege. It's not a burden to spend time with Jesus. It's a privilege. It's not a burden to live sexually pure. It's a privilege. It's not a burden to not cheat people and to not steal and to, oh, that law. What do you mean? It sounds like a pretty good way to live to me, don't you think? How many of you watch TV? Anybody in here at all? All right. When an adultery is portrayed on TV, tell me how many times you get mad at the person who cheated on their spouse. Who wouldn't? See, we say, oh, that law of God, it's too much. Well, deep down, we want people to do right by each other, do we not? There's this longing for justice, is there not? It's just skewed to everybody's opinion now. But the Bible brings us back to God's standards, to God's rules, that if you have hatred in your heart, it's murder in the sight of God. That if you have lust in your heart, it's adultery in the sight of God. To do what? So that there will never be one self-righteous hypocrite in the church again. It's too bad we don't preach the true way of the Lord. Because if you understand that even if you look at a woman with lust, that's adultery in God's sight, you might take it easy on other people. But at the same time, you fear and tremble not to sin against God. This life is impossible to live without understanding what David's talking about. Because your steadfast love is better than life. Okay, think about all the things you can have in life. All the sin that's offered to you in life. David says, better than all of that is your love for me. That I get to experience. Because your steadfast love is better than life, David has set himself to this pursuit. My lips will praise you. When I experience your love and your steadfast love and your love for me that I see revealed through the cross of Christ, my lips are going to automatically praise you.